Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of The Harvest Season. My name is Al.
And my name is Bev.
And we're here today to talk about farming games.
Woo!
Hello, Bev. How are you doing?
I am tired. I feel like I've been farming all weekend, except it's upgrading my house and not an actual farming plot. But yes. How are you?
I mean, life sims have more than just farming. You know, farming games.
Right?
You upgrade your house all the time. It's just normally it's with a click of a button.
If only.
I'm also tired, but for different reasons. You know, just children.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
children can be very tiring indeed.
Yep. So if we're low energy this episode, that's why. But we couldn't delay this episode any longer because we have lives to do. So here we are. We've got an episode for you, and I hope you enjoy it. And there we are. This episode we're going to talk about 100 Days. This is the wine making simulator. We received some switch codes from the developer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, developer. Oh, I should get their name.
Thank you.
Thank you to Broken Arms Games for that, for our codes. I, however, also bought the Epic Games version, the PC version in Epic. I actually bought that months ago, but never played it until the last couple of weeks. So, that just to let you know, we'll be talking about that, and that's how it is. That's where the codes were received. Before that, we've got some news. But first of all, Bev, what have you been playing?
I mean, other than 100 Days, I've unfortunately haven't been playing much just because my life is in turmoil as I move and try to update a house. But I went back to Let's Go Pikachu and started doing some shiny hunting there because it's the only, I think, Pokemon game that I have a full dex in. Which isn't saying much because it's only 150.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 or whatever there. Yeah. Currently shiny hunting Squirtle and a little bit of Shaman in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Pearl. Brilliant Diamond. I can't not say the two of them, but I always forget the shining part.
Yeah. Cool. Are you Are you up to date on the newest? If you're shiny hunting Squirtle, that's presumably you can't find them in the wild, can you?
In Let's Go.
Oh, are they in the wild in Let's Go?
They are. So they're a rare Pokemon, so you need a chain of 10 in order to see them.
Right.
Regularly.
Yeah. I presume you're up to date on the newest information regarding the catch combo shininess rates.
Indeed.
Good. Mm-hmm. That was a fun one because I was so frustrated with that because I was like, I tried so much catch combo hunting, but once I hit the max, I just stopped catching because I was like, well, I'm at the max. What's the point? I'm wasting my balls. And it wasn't until, for those who are listening who aren't aware, they actually found out a few months ago or last month or something that the increased shiny odds for catch combo is only on the first spawn after you catch one. So you have to keep catching. So you catch one, the next one that spawns has an increased chance. So then you have to catch another, and then the next spawn has an increased chance. So I was just wandering around looking for this shiny Pokemon without the increased chance. And I would put in all the work for that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why they just don't release the information about how shiny odds work because
yeah.
I mean, why?
And it's sometimes they give you hints, right? So there was the hint with Sword and Shield about brilliant Pokemon. We're like, okay, well, what's it got to do with brilliant Pokemon? So we have to try and figure that out, and eventually did. But
and then Arceus, I think they also did a hint with outbreaks or something. It's just why not just tell us?
Yeah, I mean the outbreaks one at least was better because there's nothing special you have to do. It's just an outbreak is one in 100, so it's much better, 100-ish. So I mean that one was much better. But yeah, I don't think there was any information about the perfect Pokedex entry and stuff like that. Whatever. We get there eventually.
Yeah. Although, like, how many years has it been since Let's Go was published, and we're only now just correcting ourselves.
2018, I think, 3.5 years ago.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Insane. Good fun. Yeah. What am I been playing? I've also been shiny hunting Shaman, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, or Brilliant Diamond specifically. I've just been limiting myself to 10 resets a day because
how many are you at now?
I am today's the 20th of March and I started on the 1st of March, so that'll be 200 today.
Okay, nice.
I've not actually done today's yet. I'll be doing that probably after with this recording. But yeah,
Nice.
so I decided that 10 a day in a year will be 3,650, and that's like kind of close enough to the 1 in 4,096. So like I'm not guaranteed one in a year, but I think it's a reasonably good chance that I will get one in a year. And if I don't,
Yeah, odds are.
I'll probably get one. I'll probably get one in the year. And if I don't, it's a pretty high chance that I get it within the next year. And doing 10 a day is fine. And it means that I don't get all consumed by it,
Yeah. What's nice about that is that you can log out and play something else and come back to it. Whereas in Let's Go, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
So I already broke my
Yes.
my streak to play 100 days on that. I should have just did it on a different. I should have played on my Switch Lite, transfer that over, so I could just leave it there and not break it.
So I've been doing that. What else have I been doing? I don't know. My brain broke just now. I've been doing some Legends shiny hunting and some Sword shiny hunting. Lots of shiny hunting apparently.
Nice.
And
it's the season for it, I guess.
I've been playing the new Mario Kart courses.
Ooh.
So that was fun.
Okay.
New/old.
On the DLC.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's good fun. It was really funny. So Mario Kart Wii was like my kind of, not the first Mario Kart I played, but like the first I properly played. Like it was the first I got, 3 stars in everything. And so when I got back into Coconut Mall is one of the Wii ones, and that was in the first wave of this DLC. And as soon as I jumped in, I was like, apparently I still have muscle memory for this level, which was good fun.
I love that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's been probably a good 6-7 years since I've played that game, which is very funny how much that sticks in your brain.
Right. Like GameCube, I think was my first proper Mario Kart playthrough, and I'm pretty sure that's the one that I'm best on because of all the hours I put in. And I'm sure if I sat down, I could, the muscle memory will come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's about it. Good fun. Cool. Well, should we talk about some news then? We've got a bunch of news. We'll see how we go with these. First of all, Roots of Paka. We got an update from them. The next version of the game will be what they call beta, which, if they're using the kind of standard terminology of it, it basically means that it'll have all of the features, but not all. It just needs tested and fixed all the issues. I have no idea if that's what they're going to do or not. I suspect not, because people seem to use these terms just to mean whatever they want them to mean. And if you don't mean it like that, what does beta even mean? It just means whatever you want. So
there really should be some sort of standardization for it.
There was, and everybody ignored it. Back in my day, alpha meant anything goes here. We've just got some of the features, but there's loads more features still to do, and there's obviously going to be loads of bugs. Beta meant we've implemented all of the features, but there's going to be a lot of bugs still. And then release candidate was, we think this is good enough. Please find if there are any more bugs. That was it. We didn't need anything else. We didn't need a pre-alpha. We didn't need any. It just
pre-alpha. Oh dear.
It just. I'm fine if people want to remove, not use those terms, right? Because they're still a little bit woolly. Is what exactly does that mean? If you've forgotten to implement a feature, was it really a beta? Whatever. I don't care. That's why we've got early access. Early access just means it's not the final version, right?
Right.
And then you're like, okay, well, what about all the versions after the first version. Like, what does it even mean to be the final version? What is DLC? What's the difference between DLC and updates? And oh my word, I don't even care. Why am I even discussing this? So stupid.
It is. I will say this looks like a very cute game. It feels very much like Stardew, like it has very Stardew-esque feel to it.
I have been looking forward to this game for a long time. I like the art style. I like, as you say, it's kind of Stardew-esque style, but it is prehistoric based. So like there is some technology in it, but it's very definitely like what would be imagined as like, it's kind of like Flintstones technology, I guess, right? So they still have it's not like everything is manual. They've implemented a bunch of technology, but it's not like electricity based stuff. So yeah, it's that's fun. They've also said regarding the release, they're pushing their projected release date from Q2 of this year to late this year.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
Yep, whatever that means.
What it means is next year.
Probably.
So that's Roots of Paca. Next we have the weirdest game again. This game constantly fascinates me. Beasties is getting a Switch release. Yay?
I am very confused by this game.
It's not just getting a Switch release, it's getting a physical Switch release. Who wants Beasties as a physical Switch game?
I mean, I would, if I was to get it, I would prefer it on a physical. Unless there's like an actual like discount for getting it digital. I would prefer for it to be, I don't know. I don't know what kind of game this is.
It's not like anyone's going to buy it off you. I don't
the
like.
PCs are cute though.
Right. I don't hate this game. Right. I think it's interesting. Oh my word, video gonna know. I'm confused by it, and I feel like I keep losing track of whether it's coming out or not, because like they announced it and then they said, oh, never mind, and then they went, oh, actually, yeah, okay, it's coming, and then it seemed like it went quiet, and then they were like, oh wait, it's coming on Switch, and you're like, okay, fine. I guess I really hope the Switch version works with the touchscreen, because who wants to do a match 3 game without a touchscreen? But I could see it not working with the touchscreen. I'm just being pessimistic, clearly.
Yeah. I don't understand some games on Switch, like the Pokemon Cafe one. I can't imagine that working on Switch, because it's like yeah, you would need the touchscreen. I mean, I don't know. I don't like using the touchscreen on the Switch. I forget it's there.
I always try to use it in games that it doesn't work in.
Oh.
And I'm like, why didn't you work with this? Whatever. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I've got the beta of this. I've not really tried it.
Okay.
I think it's an interesting idea, but I'm still confused by like the characters in the game, because they're like these weird cylinders that jump around the map. Anyway, apparently it's releasing on the 1st of July this year, which is interesting.
Well, I will say that I like the art of at least the creatures, but I don't know if I'll be getting it. We'll see. Maybe.
Yeah, we will see. It's not even a farming game. Why am I talking about it? What even is this podcast anymore? It's just some games we like.
I mean, it has. I don't know.
Stop trying to justify it. It's all good. It's not literally no farming.
You're farming creatures, right?
That's not how this
works. Like Ooblets, you farm creatures in there as well.
Well,
so
no, but that you're literally growing them, right? There's a big difference, right?
True.
Big difference. Ooblets is absolutely a farming game. You plant something in the ground, you water it, it sprouts, you're done. Great.
But like Slime Rancher, you're literally farming creatures as well. Like, I think there is some farming plots in there for like food for the creatures, but it's also mostly just farming.
Kitoria Academy.
Yes.
A game for you, Bev. Definitely a game for you.
It looks so cute. I I mean, I have too many games to play, but this
Isn't that the truth? Katoria Academy is a cozy life simulator where you take the role of a wizard's apprentice and have a cat as a companion. I'm pretty sure you can figure out what you do in this way. This is the good wizard game to buy.
Yes. I mean, there's cat accessories. So if we do this on the podcast, I will vote for playing it, so I have a reason to get it. I can justify it that way.
well, Bev, I have already backed it for me, so
maybe.
Anyway, the Kickstarter is over, and they hit a lot of their stretch goals. It was already coming to Switch. That wasn't one of the stretch goals. It's coming to PC, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation. You can fly in your broom. There are fruit.
You can use magic
dragons.
to farm. This looks amazing.
Yeah. No, it looked good. It looks good. As you say, too many games though.
I know.
But yeah, looks good. When you leave your home, your cat will transform into their spirit form, and they will accompany you around the academy.
Oh, kitty! I like the art of it a lot. I like the look of it. I don't know how like moving around I'm gonna like in it, but I love the witchy feel of it.
Yeah, I think the controls are kind of key in a 3D game. Whether I'm going to enjoy them or not, but I'm certainly encouraged by how it looks. It looks great. We're just going to have to see how it actually plays, I think. There is a little gameplay video, which doesn't look horrific.
I'm late to backing this, but you can play with the laser with the cat. Oh my goodness. I think I will be getting this.
Yeah, so I mean that was it. The Kickstarter's finished. So
I know.
Sad for you.
It is. Oh well.
Mika and the Witch's Mountain. I think we can officially call this a farming game now because there is no farming, but there is fishing. There is fishing.
The fishing looks so cute.
This might be the best fishing minigame I've ever seen.
I think so.
So there'll be a link to this video in the show notes, but if you don't want to watch it, especially during this conversation, what you do is so this is the game where you're on a broom and you're like trying to deliver things on your broom. There's a fishing mini game where you grab a bucket, like a little pot, and then you're swimming. You're flying around on your broom, and then you have to literally scoop fish out of the water with the bucket.
And you just see these little fish like popping their little heads.
Yeah.
In the water, and yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
So this officially counts as a farming game now that you can fish.
Yes, for sure.
It's great. Just don't know what else to
say.
And
it just looks so good. It's so bright and so beautiful. I'm really excited.
It's very Wind Wakery, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like.
And Kiki delivery service.
I love how derpy the brooming is.
Around. Yes.
Just bumping off things and stuff.
Well, I think that's part of the progression of the gameplay, right? It's like learning how to fly the broom, and then you can go higher as you become more experienced or whatever. So it's gonna be interesting and exciting and very derpy, like you said.
Above Snakes, the pre-alpha is live.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate the term. Go away. But
yeah.
If you have backed this game and you backed it at the level that gets you the pre-alpha, there you go. Go get it.
I have backed it, but not at pre-alpha.
I didn't either.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited though.
Yeah. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Excuse me. Yep.
Next, we have Farming Simulator 22. It's not often we talk about Farming Simulator. However, they have a DLC coming out for Farming Simulator 22 on the 22nd of March, which is in the past as you're listening to this.
Oh, well, yeah.
Time.
What is time?
What is it?
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, you can go get that if you play that game. I still haven't played that game. I don't know if I ever will or not. It feels too intense for me.
Yeah. It's too real like farming. I feel like I want it to be cuter. I want cottagecore on farming.
Yeah. The next we have Spirit of the Island. I think we've talked about this game before, but it's now in early access. I actually can't remember whether we talked about this game or not, but it's in early access. It's a colourful co-op life sim RPG, that's a lot of words, set on a tropical archipelago. Does that sound like anything? Build your farm, grow crops and animals, craft various items, cook exquisite dishes, gather resources, build shops and museums to attract visitors, and turn a desolate island into a prosperous tourist destination.
Into a donation, yes. Yes, we'll be donating. The tourists will be.
I love the look of this game.
Yep.
It's fun looking.
It's very cute.
A lot of it seems kind of standard farming game, which is fine. I think it's interesting that there's quite an aspect on the tourist side of things, which obviously Animal Crossing does a little bit, and the latest Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town does a bit as well. But that's really just in a kind of like, in both of them, it's just as you move along, you're naturally improving it, and kind of you just finish the story and that's it. You've become a tourist destination, whereas this seems like it might be a bit more involved in that, which I think is quite interesting.
Yeah, and like I think they're broadcasting live now. The devs playing, and there was like a component of it where it was night and they were just running around with a flashlight, and it felt very much like Luigi Mansion. So it's interesting. Yeah, I'm interested to learn a little bit more about this game.
Yeah, so it's in early access. If you want to have a look at it, feel free. Here we go. Village Monsters. Hey Bev, this game got delayed again.
Oh, not surprising, but
it's not even funny now. No, we're not being mean.
No.
So it was meant to release on the 16th of March, a few days ago. There was, however, an issue when the developer was creating the final executable files and stuff, where there was a specific issue that led to something that they needed to manually change, and it's taken them several days. So it has just been delayed by a few days. They are hoping that it will be released on sometime this week. It will probably be out by the time this episode comes out. Probably. So it's not an actual issue with the game. It's an issue with like the releasing of the game. The fun developer tool nonsense.
Which is like, I feel like you can't even, like, how do you even plan for that?
By trying it out beforehand. Look, I'm not being mean. There are so many problems with technology. Technology is just a sugary building on top of sugary foundations, on top of an egg that's slowly cracking, and we're all going to be consumed by it. So
yeah, it's very cute. Also looking forward to playing this at some point.
Yes, maybe eventually we will actually play it and talk about it.
Maybe October.
We'll see.
Who knows?
I've tried that twice already. Coral Island have announced that they have a partnership with Humble, as in Humble Bundle, to publish the game. So they've also released their cover art, which just looks as good as we expect from this game.
Yeah, it's cute. I like the cover art a lot, and Humble is very, very good. I like everything about Humble. So
yeah, they've done quite. They've done a lot of recent games. Published a lot of games recently that are good.
So excited for this one. I forget if I backed it or not. Was this on Kickstarter as well?
It was, yeah. It was on Kickstarter last year.
I forget.
I can tell you, I definitely backed it. I think is this not one of the ones that you and Cody were fighting over who gets to talk about?
Possibly. I think so. Because I was very excited about it and still am excited about it. So probably.
This is going to be one of those ones that is going to be difficult figuring out when to cover it because the early access is still on track to release this year, which means the final release will probably be several years in the future. And I'm not sure, when I want to cover it, but fun times.
Uh-huh.
We shall see.
Yep.
There's a bug fix update for Stadia Seasons Friends of Mineral Town for some reason. They haven't said what bugs are fixed.
I can't read the news thing.
It doesn't really say anything.
I'm not. Okay.
It basically just says there's an update and some bugs have been fixed. It doesn't say anything else.
Well, at least they're still supporting it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Like was it 3 years since it came out?
I think so. Sounds about right. So maybe something came up with like a Switch update or something then.
Well, it's a Switch and a PlayStation update. It's not just the Switch.
Oh, okay. Then maybe to just realize something that they should have addressed a long time ago. Who knows?
Who knows? 2.5 years since the Japanese version came out. So.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, we have a new game that I've found called Farlanders, which is a Mars terraforming game. I like the look of it. It's interesting in its styling, and it's like a grid-based system. It's like I think it's more like a town builder than a first-person farming game, first or third-person farming game.
That's kind of what it's looking like, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I like the style, like the plot style. Like I like the art of I think the cutscenes, and it looks like their prologue is like available and free to download. So I think it's more of a a demo.
Yeah,
that's available. So I might try that out. Because I do like the idea of terraforming Mars. Like I've enjoyed that board game. It's an interesting concept. Interested to see kind of how they're adapting it.
Yeah. I think that's all the news. Shall we talk about 100 Days?
Yes.
So, quick summary. Obviously, again, thank you to the developer, Broken Arms Games. I find that name really difficult to say because I can't. Because 2 of the 3 words are plural. I get confused about which words are plural. So it's either Broken Arms Games or Broken Arm Games or Broken Arms Game. I never say it correctly. But thank you to Broken Arms Games for our Switch codes. And as I mentioned, I also bought it on Epic because I bought it. I think I ended up getting an Epic voucher at one point and I was like, I'm going to play that game eventually. I'll buy it on it. So quick summary is that you're taking over a vineyard. The usual someone in your family died. Who really cares who at this point?
My goodness.
Well, look, these games put as much effort into the backstory as I'm going to put in retelling it, okay?
The point is you're inheriting it.
You're inheriting it from someone and nobody cares. Is it or grandfather or uncle or who even knows? It's somebody.
Maybe grandfather. Yeah, it's probably a grandfather.
I don't think it matters. But you are someone from the city. You don't know anything about it. So that's how they get the tutorial in. And yeah, you're running this vineyard. We'll talk about the story in a little bit. I wanted to talk about the gameplay first because this is not what I expected from this game. I don't know quite what I expected, but it's really weird. So first of all, the very first tutorial is not on a vineyard. And I legitimately thought, have I loaded up the wrong game? So you load up and you're in an office and it's and you're like, it's a grid-based system. So you have I think you start off with a 3x3 grid.
I believe so. That sounds about right.
You are showing...
Or maybe 4x4.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 3x3. You're showing little cards at the bottom of the screen that when you press them, it gives you a thing to put on the grid, and you can choose where on the grid you put it. And these can be many different things, and it's just like a thing that happens. So in the Office case, I think it was like just run company or something. Like I can't even remember, but it was just like you had to put these things on the grid, and once you put them on the grid, they're live on the grid for a certain number of days, and then they either disappear automatically or you have to press a button to do something to them to get them to disappear. And then you like press a button to go on to the next day. And so it starts off in this office, and there's like a couple of things. And I think it's just to get you used to the idea of the grid system and how it works, but it was incredibly confusing. And then you get the letter and you move out to the vineyard, and that's where you actually start doing the winemaking part of the game.
Yeah, I think it very much feels like the kind of like the intro of like Stardew, where you're stuck in this office setting and like look how horrible it is, and then you move to the vineyard or the farm, and then you get to start your real life that is like fun and exciting. So yeah, it's interesting that the tutorial does start there, and like you, I was also a little confused by it. But I don't necessarily hate it starting in a different place, but it is definitely confusing. So yeah, interesting choice.
Yeah, I guess the confusing thing is the fact that you're actually doing gameplay at that point. You know, it's not like when Stardew, you start off in an office, but it's a cutscene. It's very clearly a cutscene. It's very clearly backstory. Yep. Whereas this was like, oh, here's an office, do some game, and I'm like, what game is this? I'm so confused.
Am I like managing the vineyard from here? Is this like the vineyard's headquarters?
Yeah, is this a point they're trying to bring across that it's become to commercialize? And no, that's not what they're saying. So you get out to the vineyard, and there's a couple of different I'm merging things together quite a lot, but let's just talk about it. So there's a couple of different ways you can play it. There's the story mode, an endless mode, which doesn't have the story, obviously, and a challenge mode, which I've not tried, and I presume is just like you can change things to make it more difficult. But you can do that on the main modes anyway. Like you can do a couple of different things to make it more difficult.
It could be like a turn-based system too. Like you only have so many turns to
maybe something like that.
Money. So
I'm sure there's plenty of things they can be doing for the challenges, but
I also haven't tried it because I find it hard.
In the story mode, you have basically your run through everything and how you run the farm. It's definitely the best way to start off the game if you've never played it, because like the first kind of couple of years is basically the tutorial, and you have different characters who run through how to play the game, and there's like a vague story that goes along with it, and everybody's very patronizing. Because of course you're the city slicker,
the newcomer. Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing, which obviously I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I inheriting a vineyard when I don't know what I'm doing? It doesn't make any sense. Nobody's going to buy wine from someone who doesn't know what they're doing. It doesn't make any sense. Whatever. That's fine. I mean, these stories never make sense anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can see it in some cases, like someone wanted to keep it a family business and like enforcing your child to take over the business.
Sure, but you would start that off much earlier than I'm dead, have my farm.
Yeah, that's the difference there, I feel like, in reality. But yeah.
So I've kind of gone over how it works, but I'll try in a bit more detail. So you have this grid. And like everything that you do in the vineyard is like a thing that you put on the grid. And it's not like these aren't like buildings that you're making. It's literally just a way of restricting how much you can do at one time. So like you might start off with like one that says weeding, and you have to put down this weeding, and it's like they're kind of Tetris shapes type thing. So it's like it might be like a 3 in a row with like one bopping off the middle, like the T-shaped Tetris part. You have to put that on. And then you might have one that says another thing. Like, later on, once you've grown them, you have ones that like press the wine and then ferment the wine or whatever. So you can have like different ones going at the same time, but you can't have, if you can't fit them on the grid, you can't do them. Is kind of the idea. So everything that you do is on this grid. You've got your weeding, planting, harvesting, fermenting, pressing. You even have ones like cleaning. You can do cleaning. Yeah, you even have ones like you can do like a wine tasting for people, stuff like that. Loads of things like that. And you can expand the grid over time. I'll get to that in a minute. Each thing has a certain number of days that it takes to do. Each season is 5 days. And of course, there are 4 seasons in a year. So your year's pretty quick. It's basically 20 days. Which I found the days are also, as I think I mentioned this before, but the days are manually progressible. Yep. So you say, right, I'm done with the day, and you press a button. So when you get to winter in your first year, there's basically nothing that happens. So you just keep pressing the day button. In later winters, there are things you can do, but in the first winter, there's like nothing you can do. And it's very, it's kind of, I think in a way, it's an incredibly detailed game, but in another way, it's also very hand-holdy in that you can't do a wrong thing. You can only do what it tells you to do. So like you sit there and it goes, oh, these are the things that you can do. And they're all the correct thing to do at that point in time. Like it doesn't, you're not allowed to weed unless it's the time to be weeding, Yeah.
And you're not allowed to read unless it's like raining, or if it's like not raining or snowing. And like you can't do things out of order because the cards only appear in a certain order. At some point, you'll get to unlock several other technologies that allow you to do other things like concurrently, and it's a little bit more of a choice between if I do this now, I can't do this later. But yeah, it is very like progression. You have to do things in a certain order, which I don't dislike because there's a whole lot to winemaking that I knew existed, but not to this level of detail.
Yeah, I don't know how it manages to be so incredibly detailed, but also like so simple at the same time. And it can get more complicated as time goes on, and there's more things you can do after the first couple of years. And there's like it isn't just as simple as click a button, make wine, because you can change things based on like, oh, I want it to be. There's a thing in wine called. Is it talons or some tarins? Tannins. I don't know what they are. I don't care. But there's a thing in them, and it either makes the wine better or worse. I can't tell. But you're basically choosing like how much of there is than that, and like when you're crushing, or is that when you're fermenting? I think when you're crushing the grapes, you choose like how forcefully you do it, and you either get more worse wine out or less better wine out. So you do like make these decisions on exactly, and it leads to what how good your wine is, and therefore how expensive it is and how much money you make.
And you have like a little journal that kind of keeps tracks of like the right parameters for each different wine, like how much body or how much sweetness, acidity, etc. Which I like. I like that there's a little star next to it, so I know like even on like the card itself when you're doing the action, there's once you figure out what it is, the star is still there, so you know, okay, this is like where I want it to be. There's a few things that I still haven't figured out, like how to change the quality of the soil, other than like doing treatments and stuff like that. So it's a very in-depth game, and you're right in that it makes a very complicated process seem kind of easy, and that's I don't know how they did that, so I congratulate the devs on how they did that.
I think this. Now, I don't know how accurate it is. Honestly, I don't really care. Right? I'm just going to assume that it's really accurate because it's incredibly detailed. Right? If you're a wine expert and you've played the game, I don't need to know that there's a very specific thing that was wrong in it, right? Okay, I don't need to know. I do.
Tweet at me.
Feel free to tell me whether you think it's vaguely accurate or not, but I don't need to know about like tiny details like, oh, no, actually, the percentage of tannins that you get from this grape at this particular point. I don't care. right?
I do. Tweet at me. You can tell me that. I forgot. I love wine. I forgot that I was going to drink wine while we did this.
I do not drink wine. I don't understand it. It's just off grapes, right? Eat your grapes before they go off. Don't make them go off and then drink them. So I don't care about the specifics of the wine. Normally I ask for feedback. In that situation, I'm saying, please do not feedback me. I'm just going to assume it's very accurate. So what I'm going to say is I suspect if you're interested in wine and or interested in knowing how wine is made, I suspect this is a very good way of learning how that works.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I personally did not find this game fun to play.
I disagree in that at least I personally enjoyed playing it. I thought the story was very cute. I liked the art style of the characters. Like when the story I think was triggered was kind of interesting and kind of vague, but yeah, I overall enjoyed it. I find that I struggle, I think, with these games. Like I'm hemorrhaging money currently in the game, so I don't think I would ever try challenge mode. And I think I've only played one other game. Like, I don't even know what is this like. What would you like This is almost like a factory sim, right? Like what?
Yeah, a factory sim or a factory sim / town builder type thing.
Yeah.
Something.
So
like
I think
that.
I've only played like 2 other factory sims and not in very like much detail, but I also did not do well in this game. So I think I just do not do well with management in these type of games. But
yeah,
I don't know. I feel compelled to come back and feel compelled to do better and unlock more of the different wines that are available. Get better quality wine, get more of the technologies. So I will probably continue playing it because I want to at least unlock a little bit more of what's available because there is a lot that you have access to if you have all the money to get in, which is a lot.
Yeah, so I guess let's kind of talk about that then because there's technology upgrades that we've not really touched on. So I'd mentioned that you can upgrade the size of your grid. There's a whole bunch of other things you can do as well.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing this game does really well is there is just one thing, and that's money. Right? You don't have stupid currencies. You just have money. You make money and you use that money to do things. You don't have like technology points and stuff. No, none of that. Or at least I haven't noticed any of that.
No resource management.
None of that. No, it's just like, hey, pay money, get stuff. But make stuff, sell stuff, get money, etc. The good, the proper, this is the way you do management sims. This is very good. I didn't get hugely far through these technology upgrades, so I don't know if you have more insight into them, but they just kind of give you, as far as I can see, they just give you access to do more things, different things, and more at the same time kind of thing.
Yes, that's my impression of it as well. Like you unlock different types of like bacteria that are used for fermenting. You unlock different like crates or barrels, I think, that are for aging. Like you eventually unlock aging, which is not available, I think, in the original like run of it.
If your grapes aren't old enough, we can make them older.
Which is a thing.
Yes, I don't understand it though. None of it. I don't understand why you want it to be older. It doesn't.
It gives it more body, whatever body means.
I don't think anybody in the world actually understands any of these words about wine, and everybody just pretends to understand it.
I wish my like taste buds were more refined. Not that they're not refined. I wish they were more sensitive because I could not like do the undertones. Like this has like chocolate undertones,
hints of oak and
yeah. I usually cannot taste them.
Paper
because my taste buds are not that.
Nobody can taste sensitive. It, Bev. They're all lying to you.
Are they?
Yes. Like somebody made it up as a practical joke and nobody's been willing to accept. Nobody's willing to admit that they can't. So the lie just keeps perpetuating.
There's classes on wine tasting though. This is a thing. Like this is a thing that you can learn to do. So it's a thing that you can
be convinced that your brain is doing. Just because there are classes doesn't mean it means anything. Doesn't mean that everybody's not lying. It's not
I
like
need to
it's
take
not
these
like
classes.
it's not like it's subjective. Sorry, objective. It's not like you can actually say, "Oh yes, you're definitely right." Like if nobody actually understood it, and somebody would say, "Oh, I get hints of this," then everyone just go, "Oh yes, me too, yeah."
You don't even drink wine. How do you even know these? There's hints of these things that you don't drink.
I have drunk wine. I mean, just because I don't drink it doesn't mean I haven't drunk it. Look, right, this does not need to be a disagreement on alcohol. It's all pointless and stupid, and just drink whatever you want. I don't care. Continue.
I don't know.
There's upgrades and they gives you access to more stuff and different wine, and great. There's also different. You can get access to different grape types, I believe, which I think are they tied to the regions? Is that how it works?
I don't know because I haven't gotten very far in that sense because all the different grapes are expensive. I've only unlocked one of them.
Yeah.
Sorry, the one that I did unlock was not a different region. Like it was still the same like 3x3 plot or however big you expanded it. So I can't imagine doing it all at once.
Yeah.
Even with just 2 unlocked, there's definitely a couple of turns where I'm just holding my cards and like waiting to have space to do something. So I can't imagine. Like I don't know. That's almost why I want to keep playing is just to see how to manage all the different grapes. Like, do I just have some in reserve that I just never? I don't even know. I'm so confused.
I like red grapes. I prefer them. They're more flavorful than white grapes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I also prefer red.
That is about the extent of my opinion on grapes. So there's different grapes, and I think there are different regions as well. There's like a whole bunch of different things regarding that. So if you really want to go in deep, you can do that. There was a DLC that added in more stuff, more regions, more grapes. I haven't played any of the DLC stuff. Like, I think you have to be really, really deep into this game to play in that. Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to get good, so I stop hemorrhaging money and actually unlock some of these things. Like, I got a loan, and I'm like, I've gotten to the red 2 times already. Just waiting for my wine to harvest.
Anything else on mechanics that you want to talk about?
I mean, I feel like it could be overwhelming at first with mechanics because you have like the different buildings that need to be certain levels in order to unlock certain technologies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about those buildings.
Yeah.
They have inventory management, and it's as annoying as it always is. Like, oh, you can only have this much wine.
Mm-hmm. And there's like a shop within the buildings that you can buy more things for the buildings to hold. So, and that's like not as clear. Like I almost wish there was a separate shop window for buying things. I don't know if that would have been easier.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's very detailed, and that's why I want to keep playing, to look at all the different stuff that there is. It's a lot. And like, we haven't talked about the orders too. There's 2 different types of orders.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. You can sell
so
stuff
you have
to people.
One. Well,
sorry, oversimplifying it.
Well,
tell us
about
the
special orders. There's regular orders where you just buy, like, just sell bottles, whatever, and then you have special orders, which are essentially contracts to different people or different companies or restaurants.
And they want specific wines.
Yeah, I struggle with the special contracts.
Yeah, I just ignored it
so much.
I was like, you want how many of what wine? I'm not figuring out which wine it is that you want. I'm just going to keep making my high or low tannin, whichever one gives me the most money. I can't remember. Wine.
And like the number of special orders you receive is related to like your like level, which is based off of your fame, I guess, your notoriety, like the little crown symbol.
Okay.
I forget what it's called.
Is red wine made from red grapes and white wine from white grapes? Is that how it works?
I think so.
So what's rosé
Yes.
made from?
That is a question that was not answered by playing this game.
Sad. Other rosé wines you can
A
make in the
mix?
game.
It's probably a mix, honestly, of red and white.
Oh,
That's always
interesting.
been my interpretation. Of it.
Rosé is a type of wine that incorporates some of the color from the grape skins.
Mhm.
So red wine is does that mean red wine is not made? It's to do with the skin. No, red wine is a type of wine made from dark colored grape varieties. The juice. Oh, the juice from most purple grapes is greenish white. The red color coming
Interesting.
from pigments present in the skin of the grape. Much of the red wine production process involves extraction of color and flavor components from the skin. And then rosé does some. So it's basically not quite as strong as red wine in terms of how much it uses from the skin. And then presumably white wine is where it doesn't use the skin at all then. Yeah. White wine is a wine that's fermented without skin contact. So it's not to do with which type of grapes. It's to do with where you're getting it from. It's whether you use skin or not.
Interesting. Okay, I did not know that.
Fascinating.
Okay.
The
fascinating.
simple mixing of red wine into white wine to impart colour is uncommon and is discouraged in most wine growing regions, especially in France where it's forbidden by law except for Champagne.
Interesting. This
Even
makes a lot
in
more
Champagne, several high-end producers do not use this method, but rather the other method.
Okay.
They design more Oh, I saw the word tannin.
Because that's part of it. I think the tannin comes from the skin, if I am not mistaken.
Tannins refer to the diverse group of chemical compounds in wine that can affect the color, aging ability, and texture of the wine. I like my wine lumpy. While tannins cannot be smelt or tasted, they can be perceived during wine tasting by the tactile, drying sensation and sense of bitterness that they can leave in the mouth. This is due to the tendency of tannins to react with proteins, such as I've bored myself to sleep.
I am fascinated.
Right.
So don't tweet at Al.
Do not tweet at me about your wine. I do not care about your wine.
Excuse me. I am ready to start a vineyard after playing this game. I love wine.
There's orders. You can sell stuff to people. It's great.
And you can get loans.
Oh, can
to
you?
help buy some of these expensive things. Yes. So I tried it once and got like the most expensive loan I can. And it just automatically deducts the. It took a while for me to figure it out. It just automatically deducts the payment out of like your daily expenses. So like I think my charge is like $8.44 per day. And you can change like up to 5 years. I think it's up to a 5-year loan. So I have a 5-year loan for like $60,000 in there, and almost done paying it off.
Nice.
So I think it's realistic in the way that yes, that you probably will need to get loans in order to grow your new.
Yeah.
Although it's not new too. At the same time, it's like you're inheriting this business. So like why do you need a loan to buy all these things?
I don't think you want to touch that question, do you? because game mechanics.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And do we want to go into the story at all? Or was there anything else on mechanics that
I think we're fine with mechanics. In terms of story, okay. I don't think we want to go kind of like into too much detail. I don't know if there's a huge amount we want to talk about on top of what we've already mentioned. Kind of I did find it funny how patronizing so many people were. Like that amused me. It made sense because like of course they're going to be annoyed by that. I love how sassy
the main character is by it though.
Oh yeah. Won't take any nonsense.
The main character is not taking. Yes. Yeah. And just like okay, I won't get into like details cuz spoilers, I guess. But just like the intricacies of like dealing with press and like making marketing or like networking as well to kind of like create these new partnerships or get these special orders was like realistic and and part of kind of made sense with the storyline as well. So I don't know. I enjoyed the progression of the story overall. Yeah, and love the sassiness.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
And I guess do we want to like talk about the differences with the Switch and the PC port, or Switch port and PC?
Oh,
I
yeah.
know you played.
Yeah. So I bought this game on Epic a few months ago and didn't play it till now. And we got the Switch codes, and I booted up the Switch and found it so incredibly frustrating to play on Switch. I don't know if you found this as well, but like just trying to figure out where kind of if I press like the the right button on the D-pad, where exactly the focus is going to go to, I found was very confusing. And so I got really frustrated and went, you know what? I'm just going to play this on PC. I can just click, So it just kind of feels like, I think it's because, so it's got that kind of aspect ratio of where it's, I can't remember, there's a name for it and I can't remember where it is, where it's kind of like offset from you. And you're looking at it almost like at an angle, but it's a grid, but you're not looking straight onto the grid. And there's a name for that, and I can't remember what it is, but the grid's like 45 degrees off or something.
Yeah. And that's to kind of give it like more depth, I guess, because you have there's scenery in the background, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that's fine, but it made it really weird and confusing for how exactly you were going to be moving around on the screen with the Switch controls, and I didn't really like that. I don't know how you felt.
Yeah. I think got a little frustrated with the Switch controls because it like there's so many more buttons they could be utilizing, I feel like, for navigating the different screens and menus, because this is also a very like menu heavy game. So yeah, there's definitely times when I would often get confused like where my cursor was and what I was actually pressing on. So I almost wish they would have just kept a mouse-like feature that allowed you to kind of scroll around the screen if you wanted to, but also a different way to navigate quickly between the different buttons. Because it did get confusing, and it took a while, I think, to kind of get in the what are words, roll, get a roll going. Get comfortable. Let's just go. Let's get comfortable playing on Switch.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's fair. But I was just like, I have it on PC. I'll just play it on PC. I know that's going to be a more enjoyable experience based on how this goes, which is a little bit disappointing. But it is what it is.
I could see me enjoying it more on PC, like just navigating, but also it's kind of nice to have it on the go with the Switch.
Agree. Oh, definitely, definitely.
I could see the Steam, like the new Steam console,
Steam Deck.
Like,
yeah.
I will be getting that at some point.
I feel like that'll still have the same issues because you still get similar controls to the Switch.
It would, but it would allow you to take it on the go.
Yeah, but so does the Switch. Like, I don't think it would solve any of the Switch problems, No,
it wouldn't. But it's kind of like that happy medium of like, I can play with a mouse, and then if I choose to, I can play with a controller later if I really wanted to bring it with me. So, I don't know. If only like the Switch had more variability with controllers, but then again, it's not really meant to do so.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I liked the ability to take it with me, but was also a little frustrated with some of the controls.
Yeah. So I guess conclusion, I think this is a really good game for someone who's actually interested in wine, but I do think you actually need to have the interest in wine and how it's made. Otherwise, it's just like you struggle to keep it all in your brain, and when you don't care about something, you're just like, I just don't care,
I mean, I guess like if you enjoyed a farming or like a factory sim, I could see you getting enjoyment out of this game without.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel like other factory games for me though. Like it just, so much of it is detail on is specific detail about wine. Like, you know, if we take, for example, like Factory Town, which is one we covered a few years ago, like, you don't really have to care about the things. You're just like, oh yeah, making this is making that, this is making that, this is making that. Whereas like the entire point of this game is making just wine, right? And it's like,
and there isn't a lot of like automating too. So that's probably I think the biggest difference.
Exactly. And so I think you have to like really care about like what goes into wine to do this. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's someone who loves spreadsheets and doesn't care what the numbers mean. They just look at the numbers. But I think that does work in some things. But personally, the game just it couldn't grab me.
As someone who loves wine and also loves spreadsheets, I did enjoy this game. So I could see that.
Cool. Anything else to add?
I am so confused with why it's called 100 Days. Like, I understand because it's, I think, related to the story.
Something to do with wine.
Is it?
Yes.
Like, my interpretation of it was just like the story was 5 years long and that was like 100 days, right?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. It is cute that the wine itself like has different years on it. So like the years actually matter because not that they matter, but they get, once you make it a new wine, it's named by its year. And I don't know, it's cute. I like it. So like it'll eventually get to 2040 and it'll show progress. I don't know.
Cool. Well, I think that's everything on that then. Well, obviously we'll have links to get the game if you have been interested in it based on this podcast. Let us know what you think about it. But again, if it's anything to do with the specifics of winemaking, tweet Bev, not me.
Yes.
And you can tweet Bev with your winemaking nonsense at
Bev BEV Granger GRANGER 711. That's my handle pretty much everywhere. Tweet at me. I think it's I'm really bad at social media. I'm using Twitter kind of again. So yeah, that's probably the best place to
kind of again.
Well, yeah.
You can tweet me not about your specific winemaking stuff. Although I'm open to hearing vague mentions of whether this is accurate or not. At the Scottbot on Twitter. Scott has 1 T. You can follow the podcast at THSPod on Twitter. You can also email us from our website, harvestseason.club, where you can also find links to other things, including our Patreon, where we talk about other things on our other podcasts sometimes. And until next time, have a good harvest. And make some wine or something.
Yes, make all the wine.
The Harvest Season is created by Rochelle Delaney and Al McKinley, with support from our Pro Farmer Level patrons, Kevin and Stuart. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode. Thanks for listening.
So quick summary is that you are taking over a vineyard. There's the word I was looking for. When I was writing up my notes, I was like, you're taking over a winemaking place. Vineyard is the correct term for that.